Welcome to today's episode. In this political season of uncertainty, one question seems more important than who will win the next election. When will the election actually take place? Is Bangladesh heading toward a democratic transition, or are we being pulled into another carefully crafted political trap? Today, we'll explore the underlying tensions between the interim government led by Nobel laureate Dr. Mohammad Yunus and the country's largest political party, the BNP. We'll dive into the timeline controversy, reform debates, and the upcoming Yunus-Tariq meeting in London. Let's begin. Bangladesh politics is no longer just about ideology. It has become calendar-driven. The fight is now over dates, not just mandates. Following the fall of Sheikh Hasina's government, the interim leadership raised hopes of restoring voting rights and ensuring a free and fair election. But today, that hope seems entangled in growing mistrust and uncertainty. From the very beginning, the BNP and its allied parties have demanded a national election by December 2025. Some even suggested an earlier time frame between September and November. Yet, in a surprising turn, Dr. Yunus recently announced that the election will be held in the first half of April 2026. This sparked not just surprise but widespread frustration. His justification that only one political party wanted a December election? This is far from the truth. Over 90% of the country's political parties have publicly called for elections within this year. So whose voice is the interim government actually listening to? In an unusual move, the chief advisor's press secretary justified the delay by citing three factors: reforms, trials, and weather. Yes, weather. According to them, they even consulted meteorologists before choosing April. It would be humorous if it were not so serious. While the country faces rising lawlessness, a paralyzed civil service, and an economic slowdown, the government seems to believe that the real challenge is heat waves in April. The government has dubbed this a period of reform, but after 10 months in office, what reforms have been delivered? There are commissions, yes, reports, yes, but visible change, not really. And even within the reform process, there is a glaring divide. The BNP has rejected many of the key reform proposals that groups like Jamaat Islami and the NCP, National Citizens Party, support. It raises an essential question: is this reform process genuinely inclusive or merely designed to push a particular political outcome? The game may be shifting again. The most worst development right now is the potential meeting between Dr. Yunus and the BNP's acting chairman Tariq Rahman in London. Many see this as a crucial moment, perhaps a turning point. Dr. Yunus is a respected global figure, but his political standing within Bangladesh is faltering. According to a recent BBC poll, his public approval has dipped below 50%. On the other hand, Tariq Rahman has emerged as the de facto leader of Bangladesh's largest political force. If this meeting does take place, it could be more than symbolic. It could be a serious political dialogue between two key actors who represent very different states. If the intention is honest and strategic, this could help bridge a growing divide and build consensus around a realistic roadmap for democratic transition. However, there were reasons to be skeptical. Recent developments suggest that efforts are underway to sideline the BNP altogether. The interim government often seems to do the exact opposite of what the BNP demands, and many of the reform proposals appear tailored to benefit smaller, less representative parties. Despite that, the BNP continues to organize major public events. The recent youth rally in Dhaka was massive, even if it caused citywide gridlock. The message, however, was loud and clear: we want elections in December. Even more concerning is the rumor that a faction within the interim government wants to keep Dr. Yunus in power for 5 years. On social media, This narrative is gaining traction. But this goes against the very principle on which the interim government was formed to hold a timely election and step aside. If that commitment is broken, it will be a betrayal of public trust. The debate over reforms is not just about policies, it's also about the process. Someone to implement reforms through a constituent assembly or a referendum. The BNP opposes both, arguing that constitutional reforms must come from an elected parliament. That fundamental disagreement reveals how fragile the so called national consensus truly is. This is why the Yunus Tariq meeting is so important. If both leaders can agree on a joint path, early elections within a framework for essential reforms, it could restore public confidence. It would give citizens, businesses, and international observers a reason to believe that Bangladesh is still committed to democratic recovery. Today, the situation is volatile, the bureaucracy is fractured, the economy is sluggish, and misinformation campaigns are thriving online. The only real solution is a free, fair, and credible election, preferably in December, not April. Delaying the election any further will only deepen the crisis. Politics is supposed to be about negotiation. Let this meeting between Yunus and Tariq be the beginning of a political reset, not another strategic handshake with no substance. Bangladesh doesn't need more delay. It needs commitment, clarity, and courage. Only time will tell if our politics returns to the people or stays trapped in a web of power games and tactical delay. That's it for today's episode. Is this really about democracy or just a well dressed game plan to buy more time? As April looms in the distance and December stands at the door, Bangladesh waits and watches. Stay tuned, stay aware. Until next time, this is Zillur Rahman signing off.